food.
Wild food, that's what hunting and gathering is all about. This is a journey into Britain's ancient way of life as we attempt to find the foods eaten by our hunter-gatherer ancestors. I've been lucky enough to travel all over the world, studying how indigenous people manage to make their livings with just what nature will provide them. But one thing that has always frustrated me is how little we know about our own ancestors, the people who hunted and gathered here in Britain. My partner on this journey is Professor Gordon Hillman of University College London. He spent his life studying how people have used plants throughout history. Our landscape is rich in history, waiting for archaeologists to uncover. Within it are clues of what our past might have been. But archaeology isn't the only way to find out. So in this programme, I want to do something different. I want to take you somewhere the hunter-gatherer lifestyle still survives in all its vibrant, exciting glory. We've come literally to the other side of the planet in our quest to understand more about British wild foods. This is the Tanami Desert in the centre of Australia. We've come here to see the cultural relationship that the Aboriginals here have with their wild foods, or as they call them, bush tucker. We're on our way to meet up with some people from the Warlpiri tribe. But before we start, I think an initiation is in order. Gordon can't travel with me and expect to get off scot-free. Well, Gordon, you know, we can't come to Australia without looking for one particular bush tucker.
Oh dear, I have a horrible feeling about what's coming.
That's exactly right. We're looking for witchetty grubs, and these...
I thought that was going to be a...
These are witchetty bushes.
Oh, right.
Gordon's worked all over the world, but he's never seen hunter-gatherers in action. This is the most iconic Aboriginal food. It's also particularly wriggly.
So, obviously parallels for Britain, in that we've got plenty of insects there that are quite big and juicy.
Exactly. I mean, I think part of coming here is to open our minds to the possibilities of what our ancestors may have been using.
Indeed.
I don't know if you can see this, Gordon, but you can see there where some of these bits of soil where things have emerged from underground.
Where the adult forms has come out from pupation.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
It must be close.
Oh,
there it is.
Wow.
Gordon, you can tease that out with a little stick, look.
Oh, I see. That's right.
They go into the roots, and the roots swell around them. But they're delicious. They're really, really nice. I like them. Can you get hold of it?
Yep.
You should get hold of it.
Okay. I'm not going to eat the head end.
No, you hold the head,
Hold
and
the
you
head.
bite the rest off from the head.
Give me two.
Look at that. You hold the head. Hold
Okay.
the head like between your fingers like that.
Okay.
That's it.
It's okay.
They're nice.
Bit of leaf.
They're nice. I like them.
Egg yolk flavour.
Yeah, they're
With
good.
a touch of fruitiness to them.
Everybody's really squeamish about them, but they're delicious and
they
they're
are
very
very
satisfying.
I don't know if I'd want to live on it, but it is. You can sense it's nutritious. Certainly, your body tells you.
You can see how they are. That one's all curled up in there. It doesn't want to come out. Just break them. Pull them out.
Short and narrow.
They're beautiful. Yeah. Like that. Oh, that's good.
Panano.
These days, the Warlpiri spend much of their time in town, in Alice Springs, but they regularly return to the country, and there's plenty of room in our car.
What name have you given Gordon?
Jungalai.
Jungalai.
It's a kangaroo dreaming, rock wallaby dreaming.
He's always hopping around.
You got only knees, that's all. You're lucky, you got 3 wives here.
And Gordon's got 3 wives.
This is Warlpiri land, where they traditionally hunted kangaroo and wallaby and gathered wild plants. Just 1 generation ago, they used to roam this country, living off only what they found and creating temporary camps along the way. We're going to be staying here a couple of days before moving on to another part of Australia.
One of the Aboriginal women said to me a few minutes ago, she came over and goes, "It's really good to be here on the land." And that's something they feel really deep inside. And I'm feeling that too. It's a long while since I've been to Australia, out in the desert, but it's exciting to be here. Can you just hold that there for me, Gordon? Okay. Just come out here. I'll just tie it around this termite mound, Gordon. Ready?
This is a great way to camp. A bit of shade and a bedroll is all that I need.
That's good. We won't undo this yet. Don't want anything to crawl in them.
For Noreen and the other ladies, home is even simpler. A patch of clear ground and a fire.
Ready for a brew, Gordon?
Well, that sounds great, Ray. Good job. What have you got
I'll bring it over. Well, and what's your impression so far?
I'm just amazed at the richness of the desert here. There's so many, not only is there quite a lot of plant cover, there's so much of it that's usable.
Yeah, and what's exciting for me is knowing your botanical knowledge and your archaeological knowledge is for you to see how these sorts of people think about their landscape and how they actually work with the plants and the food resources themselves.
Very exciting prospects. Very exciting indeed.
Gordon and I are mainly interested in plant use in Aboriginal Britain. Whilst animals at least leave bones to give archaeologists something to study, very little work has been done on the subject of plants, as the remains have mostly rotted away.
We got problems.
Yeah.
Number 9 there.
That looks promising.
Yeah, those ones there. Those bush potatoes there.
In Australian Aboriginal culture, it's the women who gather the plants, while the men go hunting. So it's the women who hold the knowledge Gordon and I are after.
I have good beans later on.
What they found is what they call wanakichi. Wanakichi, which is the bush tomato. It's in the nightshade family, a solanum. You can see there from the flowers reminiscent of woody nightshade back in the UK.
Audrey singing like this is typical of these people. Each food has its own song. It's a sign of the value accorded to each resource.
There's a song for Wanagiji.
We clean the seed out.
Clean him out, clean him out. Nyundo ganja.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. That's great.
Lovely. Bit of cucumber, it's nice. Sweet. Really good.
Very refreshing. Very refreshing.
Thank you.
So what are we looking for here? Obviously, the plants will be different from Britain, though the techniques will be similar. But it's the mindset that will be most important when we're thinking about our own plants. This is the bush potato. It's everywhere. But as Pamela and the others test the ground, I'm wondering which are the right ones to select. Efficiency is everything to a hunter-gatherer society.
Other things I'd tell you that the bush potato is ready.
When there's a little crack in the
The ground.
ground, then sweet potatoes there.
Ah, right.
You see these ones here, roots going down. That means there's a sweet potato in there. Yes.
This is a sign of the times. Metal digging sticks have replaced wooden ones, but the women aren't using shovels. They know that their traditional techniques are still the best.
You see how deep this hole is?
A long way down.
Can you imagine trying to dig that with a shovel or with a... It wouldn't work, would it? I'm watching Kevin. She's digging around the root, absolutely not tugging on it or
Right.
putting any pressure on it at all. There.
That's very
And
impressive.
the soil's still on it, so you can see how carefully she's cut around it. Noreen, we've had a pretty good morning, haven't we? We've got sweet potato, yellow, yeah, that you call yellow. Wanakichi, which is the bush tomato, and yakatiria, nice one
Yellow
there.
one.
Yeah, the bush raisin, desert
Sort of like
raisin.
that.
Now, how did, in the old days, people know which was the most important of the foods to collect?
First, the way I learned from old people, I used to hunt around with old people. They used to take us out camping when I was around about 8 years old. I used to sit on with old people.
So the old people knew.
Yeah.
This area.
I'm so glad we came here. Working and living with such vibrant people is the perfect way to get the right mindset for our journey into our own hunter-gatherer past.
You can.
This is cooking how I like it, at its direct, simple best.
Try one of these. What do I do? Yeah. And take the skin off, yeah? Tell you what, we ought to get Gordon over, shall we? Where's Gordon? Gordon! Come and try some of this.
This is good.
Yeah, there's some here.
Take the skin off and just like we take the skin off from the potato.
Oh, that's lovely. You won't like that, Gordon.
You can eat with the skin too.
That is delicious. It's absolutely delicious. Sweet and starchy and really
It's better than potato.
It's a filling food, isn't it?
Tell you what, I don't think I'm going back to town. I think I'm going to stay here.
Please do something with you behind.
Times like this, it's nice to sit and contemplate. And I was thinking, all the times I've been here in Australia, I spent most of my time with Aboriginal people, so I really don't know modern Australia at all. It's a strange thought, but despite that, I'd forgotten some simple things. I'd forgotten, for example, how important fire is to Aboriginal people. It doesn't matter where you take them, if you go and you stop just for an hour, they'll light a fire, because it gives them a sense of place. It's their way of establishing, this is our country. It's a social focus, a place to sit and tell stories and maintain their cultural traditions. Tremendously important.
Hunter-gatherers travel light, making the tools they need along the way. So craft skills are just as important as plant knowledge. And for me, the most typical example of this is the creation of a boomerang. But not just any boomerang. Japaljarri has a very special one to show me.
Number 7. Boomerang might be number 7.
So that's the
No,
shape.
like this.
That's the shape of boomerang you're gonna make.
Yeah.
You call that a number 7 boomerang.
Number 7 boomerang.
And what was that for?
Such fighting.
For fighting.
Number 7 and boomerang.
Fighting boomerang.
This is soft ground, not really soft ground. Make them a little bit clear, I can have a look.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Ah,
And that's why I haven't come.
It's not something that's used these days, but it's a classic demonstration of the skill of people like Japaljarri. The shape is formed by the trunk and the root.
Come on. That's it. That'll be right.
It's the middle of the morning and not particularly cold, but of course Japaljarri wants a fire. He's not going to use it for the boomerang, it just gives him a sense of place.
Put a fire here? Right here?
Little bit this way.
This way there?
Yeah.
Can I do some of that? Can I do some?
Yeah.
This whole culture is based on knowledge sharing, so Japaljarri is more than happy for me to help out. It absolutely typifies the generous nature of Aboriginal life.
Sometimes I got chainsaw.
Chainsaw?
Yeah.
That's cheating.
Yeah. That's
You
cheating.
can't use a chainsaw. No. You can't tell me that while I'm sharpening the axe.
Yeah. I don't know, long time ago. Stone axe.
Stone axe, yeah.
Stone axe. Long time ago.
Long time ago. Cool. Did you, when you were a boy, did you know people who'd used the stone axe?
I seen them with my eye.
You've seen them with your own eye?
Yeah. And stone knife like this.
Yeah.
Like this. You know?
Huh.
Put the string on that way.
Yeah.
And away call them that one.
Yeah.
Stone axe.
Stone axe.
Stone axe.
Hard work.
Yeah.
While I'm busy with Japaljarri, it's a chance for Gordon to reflect on his impressions of this area so far.
Compared to the deserts I've known before, like the Karakum Desert in Central Asia and Sahara in North Africa, this is a very different type of desert. Extraordinarily rich, not only in cover generally, it's much more vegetated, but also the diversity of edible things. Of course, this is partly because we've got the tradition still surviving here. And we know more about it through these experts, the Aboriginal peoples who still use these plants, like Japaljarri. If we had people like him still surviving in our area, in Europe, that would be fantastic. We've lost that knowledge. It's gone thousands of years ago. And so to be somewhere where this knowledge still persists, where the people who use these plants or whose parents or grandparents use these plants as their main means of survival, is an incredible privilege.
A coat of oil brings out the finish of the boomerang beautifully, but this one is not really for throwing.
The most important thing is you have to tell me how this was used and why it's this shape. This goes around the shield, is that right?
You got a shield hold them still,
Yeah.
and you gotta go close up, and he hit him with that one.
Hit him with that one. So go around the shield, catch him in the arm.
Yeah, just grab him there. Really, this is done.
Done.
Two
Beautiful. Pleasure. Nice to do it with you.
Jabal Jari.
Jabal Jari.
Yeah.
Bit by bit, we're piecing together an attitude, a way of looking at the world. But there's a fragility to this way of life. The knowledge needs to be protected. A few hours down the road lives Peter Latz. He's catalogued this plant knowledge in what many consider to be the best guide to Aboriginal plant use, the book Bushfires and Bush Tucker.
So what was it initially that drew you to study bush foods and the Aboriginal use of the plants?
Well, I saw what was happening in other parts of Australia where this knowledge was getting lost. And, you know, I love my desert people and I wanted to make sure that their knowledge didn't go the same way. So I hurriedly went around and tried to get it all down so that it's there forever.
Peter, one of the things that we're really interested in is bush tucker and the way they interacted with plants here. Can you tell me something about that?
Plants were the fallback thing. Like everyone loved meat and, you know, kangaroos and so on. But plants were much more reliable. But hell, you had to have a damn good idea of the country and what was where, when. It required a tremendous amount of knowledge of the land.
When you wrote your book, were there any great surprises in terms of things you hadn't encountered before with your early experience with the same people?
Oh yeah. If you go out with them and they show you things, and it looks damn easy and straightforward, but you try and do it yourself,
yes,
and you realise, and I've tried to do that, I've gone out and tried to live out in bush by myself, and I soon come back begging for knowledge from the old people, and they say, oh, just do this. I mean, the prime example was this bean in a long pod, you know, and they said you can eat that when it's at the right stage, just like peas. So I tried to eat it like peas, you know, pull it open, and of course it wouldn't pull open, and it had bitter juice on the outside of the pod. So eventually when I managed to get the seed out, it tasted awful. And so I went back to them and I said, oh, you told me you could eat this. And they said, oh, light that spinifex, throw the beans on it, and then it easily comes apart, dries up the bitter juices, and it has lovely smoke flavour. They didn't just survive. I mean, I could probably go out there and survive somehow or another, but they could have elaborate ceremonies that went on for months and months. I tell Aborigines, you know, what you have to recognise with white people is that they walk around the bush, they're practically blind, they're practically deaf, and they can't smell, you know, so you've got to show them every little thing.
As the sun sets, back in camp, a privilege awaits us. A glimpse of the sort of ceremony Peter was talking about. We're being shown a number of tribal dances relating to bush food. This is the dance of the bush potato, which mirrors the action we saw earlier when they were dug up. This is the dance of the blue-tongued lizard. It's Noreen who describes what's going on to us.
We set up from our camp. We went out hunting. Started hunting around for little lizards, blue dunks. Put it in a little food carrier. Then we sat down and started cooking blue dunks.
And when you dance that dance, what does that mean? You're doing more than dancing, aren't you?
But that was my grandfather's, my mother and uncle's dreaming what we were dancing today.
So there's a religious significance to
Yep.
the dance.
Dreaming is a Western word. I find it very unsatisfactory. It's used to describe something that is more felt than spoken, a connection each person has to a particular part of nature. It's the way Aboriginals guarantee the continuity of their culture by taking responsibility for a particular resource and passing it on to the next generation. Dances like this have religious significance and cannot be performed on a whim.
When tourists comes around, we have to get a permission from elders first, and they'll say yes. Because we don't want to just go and then do the dancing without it, you know? Without no permission. They'll get angry with us, the elders. Yeah, we could have a respect for the elders to do the right way.
Not just the elders, maybe respect for your ancestors as well, is that right?
Yeah.
Amazing dancing, wasn't it?
That was absolutely fantastic.
What I think is really interesting is how even such mundane, seemingly mundane tasks as digging up a sweet potato and collecting fruit
Yes,
are embodied in significant dances.
yes.
I wonder if back in Britain we had the dance of the burdock, or the crabapple, or the hawthorn berry.
Yes, I think these are real possibilities.
What I think is interesting though is that this is a culture that has survived, some people say 60,000 years.
Yes.
So some of these stories may have been already in circulation at the time when our hunter-gatherers were active, and maybe been told already for thousands of years.
Yes, absolutely.
It's been fabulous to remind myself of the strength of this culture. But of course the desert is very different from any environment in Britain, and tomorrow it's time to leave. We're off to see plants that are more directly relevant to those we'll find back home. We're heading north to the top end, Arnhem Land. Arnhem Land is one of the largest indigenous areas anywhere in the world. Almost half the size of Britain, you can only enter it by special arrangement. The road into Arnhem Land has improved dramatically since I first came here, but it's still a long and difficult drive for me and Gordon. Ramanginning, our destination, is a whole day's drive, and what a drive.
Well, Gordon, I don't think we've got much time to get camp up. The sun's sinking fast. If you crack the firewood,
Yeah,
I'll get the camp set up.
Long day,
Very long day.
dusty day.
But it's worth the little effort at the end of it. You know, I always, when I get to the end of the day like this, I just don't feel like putting the camp up. But, you know, we pushed hard for 20 minutes, and we don't have to do it in a
It's
second.
literally 10 minutes.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. Well, that's fantastic scenery we've been to today.
Amazing. Yeah.
We've barely arrived, and looking out over the Arafura swamp is already having an effect on Gordon.
This landscape's very moving. It's hugely rich, and there's incredibly few people out there. This represents, in some ways, the end of a 13,000-year-old story, though not the end here, really. The process started with the rise of cultivation in the Near East, maybe in China and other centres, and the inexorable, slow erosion, encroachment of hunter-gatherer lands by farming populations that were ever expanding. That began 13,000 years ago. And for most of the world, that process has now reached its culmination with the real extermination, really, of the old life way. Here, however, we've got an exception, and very moving.
For us in Britain today, water lilies are little more than a pond ornament, but we believe they were once a staple food. Ramingining has a well-stocked supermarket, but the abundance of wild food here and the remoteness of the region make it easier for traditional skills to coexist with the modern world.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Marley, I need you to show me which bit I should follow with my hands. Any leaf. So I took this leaf here, would that be good?
It's important to wade in and join in. If you just look, you often miss important details in the gathering technique.
Oh, that one. Okay, so follow that one.
Much of the water lily can be eaten, but the most important bits are the large root bulb, or tuber, and also its fruit.
Oh, there you have the fruit, with its seeds inside. Really? It's
Good.
It's certainly not bitter. That's good.
Not at all bitter. Slightly like the seeds of cucumber.
That's true. It has a cucumbery flavour. Yeah. That's good.
It's not hard to see why this plant might be important. It doesn't take long to gather a good haul, it's easy to cook, and it's available for much of the year. As well as being edible raw, water lily seeds can be processed to improve the taste, preserve them, and make them easier to digest. When it comes to cooking utensils, this is all that's needed. A leaf protects the cake from the ashes.
So is it now cooked first? Well, that looks very different.
Ready now. It's there.
It's very tasty. I think you wouldn't need to, if you ate a few cakes like that, they'd be quite full up quite quickly.
Yes.
So this is a good sustaining food. We've always suspected that water lilies were perhaps an important food in Britain, not just because it's the only seed food that's turned up on archaeological sites, but also because we have the records from North America from very similar water lilies, for their having played a very significant role amongst people such as the Klamath, for whom it provided the principal starch staple for 3 months or so of the year. But this has been now reinforced, this suspicion, by the local people here and their comments on the role of water lily in their diet.
There are 3 generations tucking into this food. Tradition and modernity seem to sit side by side in their lives.
You don't want to bump into one of these bushes in the dark because the edges of the leaves are covered in thorns. This is the pandanus, and it's got lots of uses. Later on, in a few weeks' time, we'll find fruits on this that contain an edible seed, and at the base of the fruit there's a fibrous material you can suck a palm oil from. It's really delicious. And for Aboriginal people, this was a tremendously important tree. Today, the women have come out to collect the top fronds, which they're going to use to produce fibres for the manufacture of dilly bags or carrying bags.
Gathering bags are extremely important in all hunter-gatherer societies, but there's no trace of the ones our ancestors used. Everything has rotted away. Nonetheless, I've used very similar processes to this myself, with plants in Britain like nettles and willow, and our ancestors simply must have had some form of similar basketry. This is the way skills are taught in this way of life, and these children clearly have a thirst for knowledge. Of course, as with everything these women do, we're talking so much more than subsistence living. They use roots and leaves to dye the pandanus. There's beauty and colour in everything here, and the same could well have been true of our own ancestors. They call this root yellow. No prizes for guessing why. After boiling for an hour or so, it comes out looking like this. Then it's dried overnight.
It's been a fascinating day. Found all sorts of things here. This is a eucalyptus. I haven't been able to key down exactly which one yet, so I've got a bit of work to do. But the local people use this to treat colds and headaches. And when you crush the leaf up, I know you can't smell it at home, but you probably know this smell because this is very strong eucalyptus oil. It's exactly like you get out of the pharmacy at home. Lovely smell. And then there's this. This is the dry, dead trunk from a pandanus. To tell you about this, I need to set light to it first. These were used as slow matches for nomadic groups travelling through the outback, keeping their fire alight. You see, it burns like a giant cigarette. And that's because it's basically just one big massive bundle of fibres. It's quite astonishing to think that people used to travel with their fire alight all the time, carrying it just like this. There are stories of people who'd lost their fire. The fire had gone out, and it's a bit mysterious because most of the groups you work with here have the ability to make fire by rubbing sticks in one way or another. But anyway, within those stories they tell of having to send people, runners, to other communities, hundreds of kilometres sometimes away, to collect fire and bring it back. And this is the method they would have used.
Sunset brings a spectacular sight. Fire stick farming in the nearby forest. It's the Aboriginal way of controlling the undergrowth. It also encourages new shoots, which in turn attract animals to graze, which are then hunted. It's effective, and at night truly a strangely beautiful sight. Next morning brings a chance for us to take a look at some of the trees growing around our camp.
This is a cycad, and this tree is pretty full grown. It not only looks primeval, but it is primeval. It goes back to before many of the dinosaurs roamed the earth, and it's ancient in many ways. Here we have ovules, these individual blobs here, ovules, seed-producing units, which are actually naked. In flowering plants they've been covered over and protected. Here they're naked. It's so primitive. And this is redolent of a very distant past indeed.
One of the most interesting trees here in the top end is this here. This is a paperbark. It's a fantastic resource. You can see here it's been scorched when the fires burned through here. In fact, it looks to me like this bit of country is due for burning again this year. And the bark protects the tree from fire, and you can peel it off in shoots. And paperbark really is a good name for it. And it's quite interesting because the bark is a protection to the tree from fire, but we can also use it for fire lighting. If I scrape up some fine shavings with the edge of a knife, I can just drop some sparks into that. And away it goes. It's kind of like the local equivalent to our birch bark. So there's an interesting thing. And of course this bark's got loads of other uses. It was used for cooking, for making shelters, for making rafts across these crocodile-infested waters. Got lots and lots of uses, even used to wrap up bones as part of funeral ceremonies. Very interesting. Amazing material.
But Gordon's particular expertise is grasses.
Do you have any use for this grass here? Do you use it as food at all?
Yes, yeah.
Just this
This
end?
one. Like sugar cane.
Like sugar cane?
Yes.
Do you boil it up with water, or do you just eat it straight?
No, straight. Like,
You chew it? You get sugar out of it?
yeah. It's no water. Can having it this.
Oh, I see. You use that when there's no water and it's dry.
Yeah.
You chew on this
Yeah.
to give you some moisture.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
Like dal miệng à. Dal miệng. Mà là dal miệng. Dal miệng.
Sweet? Is it sweet, Christopher?
Yeah, you can ballet. See.
The pandanus has dried overnight, and it doesn't take long for Robin to knock up a bag. This sort of dexterity comes with constant practice.
Genial, great. Phải poni nhà là cái lâu. Ya là nhóc cân nè, cả bελak. Ya là cái. Kalau mau kan Bandung ada menyerupin ini. Kamu makan.
Spotting a goanna like this is a chance for wild meat, a chance no hunter-gatherer will let pass. It's the impetus for Clara, Robin and the others to cook us an impromptu feast with yams as the staple. Pieces from these termite mounds will hold the heat of the fire. For tens of thousands of years, Australian Aboriginals lived without the use of a cooking pot, relying instead on many sophisticated ways of using fire. Here the yams are protected from the flames by using paper bark and vegetation soaked in water. Covering the whole thing in earth turns the fire into a huge oven, where the yams will effectively be steamed for about an hour. There is a very direct relationship with animals as food here, which is shared by even the youngest of those present. Their natural curiosity is a thing of survival itself. The goanna needs cleaning, and then Clara ties it up with pandanus fibres to stop the legs burning and being wasted. It's simple but effective. There are two types of yam here. The long yam, which can be eaten straight away, and the cheeky yam, which we'll need to process once they're cooled.
Wow, they look good, don't they? I can smell them. They smell wonderful. Wow.
That's really good.
Wow. Very good.
Aboriginal techniques are proudly passed from one generation to the next by the elders. Clara demonstrates how to butcher a cooked guana using just a stick.
This is how we use in olden days. They have no knife set. They always use stick.
The stick will leave no marks on the skeleton to betray any signs of butchery and will eventually rot away. A reminder just how difficult exploring the past is. It's ready to eat. My chance to turn the camera on the crew.
You taste it?
Yeah, definitely fish. Yeah. Definitely fish.
Good. I'll say more chicken. Fishy chicken. I thought I asked you the question.
It must be good.
Cheeky yams are actually poisonous and need processing to make them edible.
Have the young girls seen this? Have you seen this before?
A snail shell becomes a useful grater. Plants like the yam are the way hunter-gatherers ensure they get enough calories. In Britain today, our staples are bread, pasta, potatoes and rice, none of which existed in our hunter-gatherer past. What we're learning here will open our minds to the possibilities of staples hidden in our own flora.
Very sticky, isn't it? Making a bit of a mess of this. Yeah.
Keep going. Keep going.
We'll have to wait until tomorrow, our last day, to eat them. They need a good soak to leach out the toxins.
How did you find grating the cheeky yam?
Well, a bit sticky. That snail method worked.
I was going to ask you, if an archaeologist was to uncover something like that in a British dig, do you think they would attribute it with any importance?
Not what I think. There's not a snowball's chance in Hades of that happening. I think it would be regarded as a snail that's got damaged. Yeah. And but it's a very effective tool, isn't it?
It's a very effective tool. It's so simple. So simple. I mean, to me there's an elegant beauty in that really sums up the knowledge of these people.
Everyone here has such detailed knowledge, but earlier I was particularly impressed by Marlee. It's typical in a society that has relied on such skills for so long.
And you're going through the book with a young woman.
Yeah, and it was a book written by people further south of here who've recorded their bush lore, and she was looking with the greatest detail at the picture. She knew exactly which features on which plants she needed to look for. Now, I guess that's not surprising to a botanist, but these aren't botanists. These are just ordinary folk, and what I think we see here is this continuing tradition of the use of bush foods and bush resources for medicine and so on, that requires people to have a very acute memory and a very good attention to detail, in a way that the modern world doesn't encourage people today.
Indeed.
For me, one of the best illustrations of this knowledge and attention to detail is the way Clara and the others are able to find yams. Anyone can dig them up, but I've tried finding them before and always failed. This time, I'm determined to succeed.
Clara, I've come hunting for yams in the past, long time ago. I had real trouble. Because it's difficult to see them, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm watching you. What are you looking for?
Yam.
Yeah, but what? What do you? I watched. You don't just go yam. You have to look carefully. That's no good.
No, that for seed.
For the seeds.
Yeah.
So you're looking what for the vine first.
Yes.
And then to identify it,
Yes.
you look up, and then you look for the seeds in the tree.
Yes.
Can you show me?
This posture when people are looking, it's a stance so familiar. All hunter-gatherers do the same.
Oh, you found one. Okay. So this is one.
Yeah.
How do you know? Ah, these seed pods right at the top.
You can tell me.
Yeah, I see that.
Puyumara.
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 Yes.
Puyumara.
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 Yeah.
Okay, Puyumara. That's long yam
Yeah.
in your
Kind
language.
of being a language.
Okay.
Yeah.
We ate long yams roasted yesterday, but they can be eaten raw.
You could try a bit of that.
Sure. That's pretty good. That's nice.
It's nice, isn't it? It's good eating. Good supper.
Now we're looking for cheeky yams. The best time to gather these is autumn, when all the goodness has gone into the roots, leaving the leaves withered and dry. But the only way to tell the cheeky yam from the long yam is by tiny differences in their leaves.
It's amazing. You wouldn't believe it. I've spent weeks trying to spot the difference between these. Once they're withered and dry, it's so difficult. Really difficult to spot the difference.
Women like Robin rely on being able to spot these minute differences.
So I reckon that is cheeky yam, but I'm usually wrong. Let's see. Robin, is that cheeky yam?
Yeah.
I've got one right. I've got one right. I can't believe it.
At last a breakthrough, and Gordon has a true botanist's way of summing it up.
Till earlier my confidence was a little bit knocked, but let's come back now.
Your accumulate apex is rather shallow. Shorter leaf.
Once a botanist, always a botanist. But what Gordon means is the cheeky yam is slightly less pointy than the long yam, but you'll just have to take my word for it. It's impossible to show on camera.
Is that it here, going down? It's broken, isn't it? That's the difficulty. When they break, then it's hard to find where they go into the ground. Watch how carefully Robin searches for what she's looking for. It's a real art.
This is just a pile of twigs. But this is what hunting and gathering is all about. Patience, attention to detail, and knowing when to give up.
You can't find it. And would you now go somewhere else to look for another one?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's all right. Well, there you go. If you can't find the part sticking out of the ground, you have to move on. There's no point in wasting energy searching aimlessly underground. That's really interesting because we have a route back in Britain we're interested in, which we think may be similar in many ways to the cheeky yam. And these gathering problems are exactly the same sort of thing that our ancestors may once have faced.
But our ancestors must have been just as persistent and just as successful as Robin is. Otherwise, none of us would be here today. As our journey across Australia draws to a close, it's been a wonderful reminder of what it is about hunting and gathering that makes it so special. A taste of the role of food in this society, and a great introduction for Gordon to this way of life.
The bad taste is gone.
Yes.
I think the thing that's impressed me most is the way in which their culture here, all sorts of cultural components, their stories, their whole range of spiritual traditions affect their subsistence activities. There are a whole battery of influences that above all I think help maintain that knowledge, maintain those traditions. The maintenance of these storylines, so important that they pass on to their children, is a way of ensuring that this knowledge continues. And I think the role of these cultural factors has really impressed me hugely. Obviously, they would have been very different in Britain 6,000 years ago, entirely different. But on the other hand, just the overall fact that culture can play this sort of role in the present-day hunter-gatherer society does raise these possibilities for our British past.
Thanks to their care for their heritage, the Aboriginals of Australia have brought hunting and gathering alive for us in a way we could never do at home. We can now go back to Britain with our minds full of the possibilities of what existed in our long-vanished past. I'm not suggesting for one moment that what we've seen here is how things were in Britain. But certainly we've seen from the songs and the dances, and we've only just scratched the surface, that Aboriginal lives are intricately tied to their food resources and to the land itself. I can't wait to get back to Britain to explore our foods and what they might have meant to our hunter-gatherer forebears.
Ray Mears returns next Wednesday at 8. More details in just a moment. And stay with us here on BBC Two next for an insight into our £1 trillion economy in what makes Britain rich.